Hey, what's up everybody? This is Osaberg501 and today I want to go over one of the newest exotic weapons added into Destiny 2, and this is going to be an exotic auto rifle called the Quicksilver Storm, and you're able to obtain this right now if you pre-order any version of the Lightfall DLC, so you will also receive it if you just get the base version of the DLC. So once you pre-order the Lightfall DLC, you're going to go to the Cryptarch in the tower to pick this weapon up, and also keep in mind they give you this weapon at 1350 power, so make sure to infuse a higher power weapon into this. And I think this is a pretty interesting auto rifle that is fairly strong at a base and becomes even stronger in this season specifically because we have anti-barrier, and there's a few parts of this weapon that will actually make this very good for going up against barrier enemies. And this is a 720 RPM auto rifle, feels really good to fire, comes with 100 stability, so it is just an incredibly easy weapon to use, and its intrinsic trait is rocket tracers. Landing multiple hits turns your next shot into a homing micro rocket, which essentially turns this auto rifle into one of, if not the highest damaging auto rifles in the game, because every few hits it'll send out this homing rocket that'll do an extra burst of damage, and this rocket will either hit the target you're shooting, or if that target dies or the tracking just gets messed up, it'll just go and track to another enemy. And this rocket also moves very quickly and has pretty accurate tracking, and the damage of the rocket seems to be about 7 times the damage of the normal rounds of this weapon. So every few shots you will essentially be doing an additional 7 shots in the form of these rockets. Now these rockets also tie in to another one of this weapon's traits, which is called a grenade chaser. Landing multiple rockets loads a grenade, and then after these rockets do damage, you can switch to a grenade launcher mode on the weapon, which just turns it into a grenade launcher. Now it does say landing multiple rockets is what will load a grenade into the weapon. That doesn't seem to actually be the case, because most of the time when I'm using this, if I send out one of these homing rockets, it usually allows me to load in one grenade, and you'll see this as a buff on the left side of your screen, and you can hold up to 3 grenades at a time. It won't let you load in any more grenades than that, but the rockets will still work normally. So holding your reload and going into the grenade launcher mode, this turns this into what's actually a pretty strong grenade launcher. It does pretty high damage, and this grenade launcher is actually pretty special because these grenades explode on impact. They don't bounce like the vast majority of grenade launchers in Destiny do. So if you shoot it directly at the ground, it blows up right there. If you shoot it next to an enemy, it blows up right there. And another pretty big buff with this grenade launcher is it does not hurt you. You could shoot this directly at the ground and it doesn't do any damage to you. So if you're in close proximity to enemies, you don't have to worry about killing yourself along with all of the enemies. It doesn't have the biggest blast radius, but it is a really easy grenade launcher to use and does really high damage. Now, one of the downsides is switching into the grenade launcher mode actually has a pretty long animation, but if you just wait for 3 rounds, the reload is much quicker than switching into the animation itself, so you can get off those 3 grenades pretty quickly. And the grenade launcher portion of this weapon actually has some pretty unique functions to it. So hitting enemies with these rockets will give you a buff that shows you've loaded in a grenade into the weapon, and this will allow you to switch to the grenade launcher function on this weapon. But what's pretty unique with this is you can switch to other weapons, switch back to this weapon, and not only will you still have the grenade buff that allows you to use how many grenades you built up before, but it also keeps you in the grenade launcher mode if you were in it when you switched weapons. And this also allows you to use the auto loading holster for auto rifles you can put on your leg armor, and that will also reload another grenade into the weapon if you switch to a different weapon and switch back to this weapon. So you can also kind of use it as a pseudo burst damage weapon if you've loaded in grenades into the weapon and are using something else, then switch back. Also keep in mind you're currently not able to obtain the catalyst for this weapon, but I'm pretty sure there is one in the API, so most likely once Lightfall is released, this weapon will become even stronger. We're not sure what buffs this weapon will be getting with the catalyst, but it's just something to keep in mind that this weapon is already pretty good and will potentially be getting stronger once the DLC is released. But that's all I want to go over with the Quicksilver Storm. Definitely a weapon I'm going to be using when going up against some barrier champions in the season, and if you're thinking about pre-ordering Lightfall, I would definitely recommend giving this weapon a try. So subscribe if you want to see more Destiny or other FPS videos, leave a like if you liked the video, leave a comment below what you guys think about this new exotic auto rifle, and thanks for watching.